Western Regional Advocacy Project
are working together to develop a homeless bill of rights. The homeless bill of rights is going to happen in 2 states. California and Oregon. What is in this bill? This bill will want the following. Rest and sleep in public spaces. Protection by law from enforcement. In other words, against criminalization. The right to sleep in one's car. Confidentiality in social service records. Legal counsel or legal representation. So basically, those are the 3 most important items under this bill that we are developing. Just to let you know, this bill already passed several states. The first one was Rhode Island. And I just heard like yesterday, I thought that Minnesota also passed a homeless bill of rights. So we are moving forward with the same bill in 2 states. We call it the 2-state solution for the homeless bill of rights. We are holding like trainings and meetings starting February, the 1st and the 3rd Tuesdays of the month. We are going to be meeting in the PC area. The PC area is where you get your time slot. And we're going to be closing and going to have meetings from 12 to 2 p.m. So come to join us. There are going to be flyers announcing, and we're going to be announcing through our channel.
Thank you. As she said, my name is Grace, and I am the volunteer coordinator and vendor program assistant at Street Roots, which is just down the street here. We are most well known, obviously, for our street newspaper, which comes out right now bi-weekly. New edition came out today, so just a little plug about that. I see several vendors in this space right now, so you can find them for the new paper. But in addition to the newspaper, which provides a direct voice for people experiencing homelessness, we do other advocacy projects, such as partnering with Sisters of the Road for the Homeless Bill of Rights campaign, and advocating for people experiencing homelessness and poverty. This week, the director's desk, written by our executive director, Israel Baer, is about supporting Right to Dream 2 and the need for continuous support for organizations like that around the city. Street Roots has been around for 15 years now, and we have always been a voice for those who have been silenced in other ways. And we just encourage you to not only support these type of campaigns, but also to support Street Roots by buying paper or contributing poetry, art, articles, anything like that. We want to, again, be a voice for those who often go unheard in our community.
Thank you very much.
Some people ask me like how they can become involved with the homeless bill of rights. So I have a sign-up list that I'm going to be passing around. So anybody who wanted to participate, we are going to come back to you. So I know that some people here are already on the list, but I don't know, sign up because just we really want to, like Sisters of the Road, with our collaborators and partners. We really want to shift the power in this community. Portland, it's known for this really, how to say, what people call this really nice city that have all this amazing service. We have the good transportation, but underneath all this niceness, also Portland has many issues regarding to poor people in this community, regarding like, people who are unhoused. And the city says, we are doing a good job, and making sure that we are providing service that we have housing. But the reality is that, homeless people is not a priority. Homeless people is like way off the list of priorities. And sometimes the solution come up. It's not a solution that is listening to the voice of people who have the experiences. And we can change the situation. We can change, power. And that's why we are trying to do is the homeless bill of rights. Not only shift power, but also in the city, but also throughout the states. So this homeless bill of rights is going to be extremely important for us to create this sense of community and shift the stereotyping, shift the criminalization laws in a way that, forces the cities to look around and create solutions that are not so costly, that they can tell, because we don't have, they give excuses, we don't have federal money, we don't have this. We don't want the city, no to everything. We want to say, yes, it is possible, and let's work together. So,
oh my Lord.
Yeah. So if anyone wants to say a few words, this is an open mic. So Bruce, do you want to say?
Just say your name, how you're going to say.
Hey, hello everybody. My name is Bruce Graham, and I got involved with Sisters through a group of people from a church here, and we meet, and every Tuesday we go out and we check all of the tent cities. We try to help them find out what they need, get them what they need. And I've been on these streets for about a year. Homelessness is not an issue that I'm not aware of or familiar with. And I want to emphasize something that the fellow, the walker, was trying to get across. And here, I'm just going to do a real short story to kind of show you how important what he was saying about coming together and being unified and not just wandering off and trying to do, what little you can on your own. Now, I have a friend who was a Muslim. He converted to Christianity. That's not the important issue. But he was on the streets down here one day, and a couple of people didn't like him, and they were homeless, and they threatened his life. And he's a student out at PSU. He's a very intelligent fellow and very kind-hearted, and does whatever he can for anybody. And he spoke about this, and there was another person in the conversation, and their statement was, don't worry, they're about as organized as a mixed up Rubik's Cube. Okay? Now, to me that was offending. I mean, right off the top. And frankly, I stopped and I told her, I said, you know what? The homeless has been forced to become a society within a society. And that's not a good thing. So, and I tried to explain to her, if you're ever in that situation, you better listen up, because they're organized enough to do what they say they're going to do. And I just want to emphasize to you that mindset that is out there, the lack of faces, the lack of being given the dignity that you deserve, that people deserve, basic living rights. This is absolutely astoundingly important. I work with a church, and I've talked to people there, and I've tried to explain to them what this situation really looks like. And I get responses afterwards like, well, yeah, I've driven by somebody who was sleeping on a sidewalk. I got, well, did you notice him? Well, yeah, I noticed him as they kept on driving. And I told him, I said, here's the important thing. The underlying idea here, there's an underlying idea in society, even in the churches, to a great extent, that if you're on these streets and you're sleeping on the street or whatever, you somehow deserve it. You did something to deserve it. You're getting your just reward. And at some level, that's kind of an idea that drives most people. And you're collectively being profiled as being quote unquote bad people. And I've been down here enough, and I know one thing for sure. If I know anything at all, I've been homeless years and years ago, but if I know anything at all, is that I talk to individuals, I build relationships, and I've never met yet two individuals that were on these streets homeless for the exact same reason. Just like you're all individuals with all different sorts of reasons that brings a person into homelessness. And I'll give you just one quick idea. I met a man 2 months ago, and he was, and the kid was almost going to start crying. And it was in the evening, and I walked up to him and I said, "Hey, would you like to sit down at the bus stop and talk?" And he said, "Yeah, I really would." We got to talking. This was his second night homeless. The night before, he'd been out of the elements and almost died of exposure. It was the first cold snap that we had. And come to find out, this man is a practicing psychiatrist for the last 15 years. So, yeah, he deserves it. See my point? And you know, without unity, you know, nothing's ever going to get done. Nothing. There's an old military term, it's called divide and conquer. Yes. And the more divisions you can make within a group that you're trying to deal with or overcome or battle against, is you want to split them up in the smallest units you can so that you can overtake them with greater force. And that same idea is true in what is trying to be accomplished through this homeless Bill of Rights. And it's that important that, you know, you don't forget. You don't forget, because you know what? This may not change your life right now, but you know, it may change a whole lot of other people and save them from having to even get to this spot. So, you know, stay united. Don't let things divide you. We all are different. We've got different opinions, different ideas, but we have a common need to be addressed. Okay? So get involved, stay involved, get committed, and stay committed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well said.
So anybody who wants to speak is just like, you know, raising hands like Kami Garinei. And we have a special speaker right now who just arrived, which is Romeo Souza. Romeo Souza is the director of VOICE. And VOICE stands for Voice Workers Education Project, which is an amazing project that, you know, they are organized and they are composed by day laborers. How many people know what a day labor is? Yeah? Maybe I know that Romeo is going to say what a day labor is and what a day labor does. But also Romeo is going to be speaking about 5 years ago. VOICE has been existing for 20 years or more. 13 years. But I'm thinking about, you know, like day laborers have been gathering in the corners of Portland for over 20 years. And that's, you know, how VOICE became to be. But anyway, about 5 years ago, you know, after a long struggle to have a day labor center, finally it came to be through support from the city. And there was a big struggle, you know, to get it. It was a seed money from the city to establish the first day labor site in the city of Portland. And so the day laborers have been there for over 5 years on the corner of Northeast Everett and MLK. And the center is called Martin Luther King Jr. Working Center. So I just want Romeo to come and talk about the experience in fighting for a day labor site. Why it's so important to have a working site for day laborers, and what are they doing to create a permanent home? Because the worker centers was, how to say, the city provided the city money, but there was no promise that they could maintain something in the long term. So the day laborers are in the process right now of like putting pressure on the city, gathering support to have a permanent home for the worker center. So yeah, I also wanted to know, like, for Romeo to talk about why it's so important to have the center, and also to know, like, the fact that a lot of the laborers also have experienced homelessness. We know that, for example, there's very little talk about other communities experience homeless, like immigrant Latinos or the people, you know, that sometimes they live together with many more people, but it's a form of homelessness. If you don't have your home, in some ways you are homeless, you know. So Romeo, come over here, and I have known Romeo for, oh my gosh, over 10 years. Huh? Yeah.
He's mindset, harassing people as we see.
Okay, so I'm going to...
I'd love to see that. Yeah, this is something this guy is so, I love that there's people out there seeing him trying to get out.
All right, so yeah, so let's put our hands together for Romeo Souza, okay?
I just want to let you know also this the three topic jobs that they do is mowing, painting, and landscaping. So they do the most hard and jobs that nobody else wants to do. So one of the things that we are trying to do with day laborers is organize them. Nobody else can come and speak for day laborers if they don't then speak for themselves. And the leaders should come under the day labor community too, because we don't expect anybody come from outside and save us, you know. And like we teach them the rights. What's the basic rights here in this country? The right to get paid for the work you do, the right to look for work. Basically, it's a human right. And but it's not only to know your rights, also you know your responsibilities. You know, to go to work, it's not, we don't have a lawyer go with you to take care of you. You have to take care of yourself. So some of the things that we do is teach them about the rights and also responsibilities with both. And like Lucilena mentioned, 5 years ago, with the help of the city of Portland, we opened for the first time the worker center here in Portland. It was a long fight, and finally we end up have this place where a safe place where day laborers can stay warm and also can be more protected with the weather, and also the volunteers who come and hire them. Since we established the worker center, we have generated over 21,000 jobs, 125 permanent jobs that we have. And also the wage theft to the people who doesn't want to pay their laborers, this increased dramatically. Since we opened the worker center, we have like 5 persons that came to the center and hired day laborers. They don't want to pay them, but we took care of them. Those cases are solved already. So we see like the big differences between being on the street and being at the worker center. And also being at the worker center, you avoid all this negative interaction with the police, with the business, loitering, drug dealing, drinking, and all that stuff that happen on the street. And at the worker center, it's more organized place. It's a safe place for everyone. Only the not only for day laborers, but also for employers come and hire them. So it is important to keep the Worker Center open, and also the Worker Center is not only to look for work, and we interact with other communities, like we celebrate the events like the Lady of Guadalupe, the Martin Luther King's Day, where we invite other people to come and learn about what is a day labor is. It's like you guys also invite other people. Some of the people, they don't understand what is homeless. Well, some of the people, they don't understand what is a day labor. What do they do? You know, they assume a lot of different things. And like, they assume day laborers, they are all undocumented. They are drug dealers. They are like mental ill. All these assumptions that they have. But when you talk to them, it's a different reality. And so we, in these events, that we invite people from outside, and they come and learn about day laborers. And also we offer them like Mexican food, Latino food, and one of the day laborers told me, in the beginning they don't want us here. Now they don't want us to live here from this place. So, and it is important to keep that relation with the neighbor, with the business around us. And in order to keep that the center open, we need to fight for it. And 5 years ago, the city of Portland, and through the PDC, Portland Development Commission, they gave us the property for 5 years. And then, after the 5 years expire in June, they don't want us to give another 5 years. And our fight right now is to give us the property, you know, because right now the agreement with PDC is we have the lease month to month with the 6-month notice if in case they're going to kick us out there. We feel like it's not enough. We need a permanent solution. We are doing like the job supposed to be the cities should do it. And we deserve that place. And we're not asking for money. It's a property that already exists and owned by the city. So today, we have this march also together with you and the Right to Dream too, to go to the city and demand this, basically, have a place to be, have a permanent place for day laborers, so that feel we don't come every year and to ask them, please give us a favor. It's not a favor, we ask it to them. It is a right to have that place there. So we're going to start the march at 2 p.m. and we're going to meet at the Right to Dream too. And I think you guys are going to live here at 3 or something, so we're going to be all together there. So thank you and keep the fight.
Thank you.
Yeah, so you know, you can guys go to VOZ, V-O-Z, VOZ Workers Education Project, and Romeo can pass, you know, his business card. You know, a few things about the Worker Center and the day laborers organizing struggle that I just wanted to share with you, because in some ways it's very important for us to be aware, learning from the experience. One is that, you know, day laborers, when they're on the corner by themselves, they are very vulnerable. They are vulnerable to the police, they are vulnerable to the business that comes and kick them out. They are vulnerable to predators, you know, people who come looking for someone to do some work, and in many cases, at the end of the day, they were not paid. They are left on the roads. You know, there were some attacks on the laborers, people who called them, and then it was a hoax, and it was just like they were beaten up. So, you know, like, in the same way, similar to people staying by themselves, sleeping by themselves in parks under the bridge, they're very vulnerable. But when they're coming together, they become very powerful. And that's what happened when Voice was created. That, you know, they started organizing the day laborers, and they started talking about the rights that they have. And they started organizing those organizations and teaching English, is teaching about what are the laws that, you know, they are protected, and also the responsibility. And that's how the worker sites came to be, because Voice is also part of a national organization called Netherlands, the National Day Laborers Organizing. They organize the laborers over the country. And it's a beautiful national organization that was very much led by the laborers in Los Angeles, in California, but it exists all over the country. So one thing that was very important when we are trying to get money from the city, which was a very difficult process. You know, they had about $3,000 to start the center in a city property, but you know, they made it so difficult, so bureaucratic. I tell you that if the business come in, apply for some money, I bet they, you know, the red tape is disappeared. But when a community organization applying for city money, they have a list of things, you know, that I had to go through. But we did it, and we got the money. So in the process, you know, of once the city announced they had like $3,100 to put towards creating a worker center, there was a lot of backlash, saying that, you know, like, why should like public money support undocumented or illegals, you know, with this perception that, you know, all the laborers like undocumented. So like, why should we support illegal people who broke the law? You know, after educating them that are not all the laborers undocumented, so, and then they say, well, why not create a worker site like 8 seconds, you know, like sending people to Gresham, you know? Like, let's send them today, create a worker center there. Then we fought back saying, no, we have been in this corner for 20 years. You know, the place where people look for jobs is on the corner of 6th and Burnside. And just above the I-84 and Martin Luther King. Those are the places that people have been there for over 20 years. You know, so they are part of the community, and we don't want to leave because we are rooted here as well, you know. Especially the Subaru, you know, the Subaru, the car dealer. Yeah, you know, they have all the properties, they have a lot of properties there. So they were like a big power player, which the city calls stakeholders, no? When they say stakeholders, have to be very like, you know, like scared of that word. Anyway, so another thing that they said, you know, is like, you know, well, it's okay, you know, we created the worker site, you know, it's fine, but after we created the worker site, nobody should be on the corner. Then we fought back again and said, you know what, in this country there's freedom of speech, there's freedom of movement. Everybody should be free to be on the streets if they wanted to, you know, or if they are forced to, but nobody's being forced to leave the street. And this is another thing that is very similar to people who are living on the streets. You know, that the city, the business community wanted to have like a sanitized city, you know, in which homeless people had to be in like sweat. You know, over the summer there was a lot of sweats, a lot of, you know. So basically like forcing people out from the streets, and also like forcing people, like many cities do, to be on the outskirts of the city. So we fought back, we won. We said we cannot accept that because, you know, we can force people to be inside the centers. The only way people are coming to the higher sides is to have jobs for them. And so, but we can't force people. Okay, so I just finished here because we have more presenters. And also we are going to have a small theater. We put it together small theater. And also there's an ambulance coming, so be aware that I think something happens and we have to call an ambulance, so don't be scared. My name is Lucilene, and I work here at Sisters. I have been with Sisters for 4 years. And being like one of the leads in doing community organizing and also working with my co-workers through the capacity change to implement the Homeless Bill of Rights. And again, we're going to be having meetings the first Tuesday and third Tuesday of the month here in the cafe from 12 to 2 p.m. And also, you know, we are going to be closing the cafe for 1 day to do like community education, community organizing, to have like cultural events and to be able to talk about coming together to learn about our rights and how to, you know, be a powerful community, you know, that we can really gain the rights that we deserve. So I think that's a few things. Yeah. So again, you know, like you by yourself on the streets, or you came, are very vulnerable. Together, like the little, the little fish metaphor, one fish is vulnerable, but a lot of fish together can be a force. That's the same idea. Okay, so it's about 12:25, and I don't know, are there any musicians here? Are there anyone who want to do like a poem? Anyone who wants to share something exciting they did? Yes, I know. I was going to Barry Joe to do something, but I think Barry Joe is taking a break. Anyone who wants to come here and just yeah? Okay, you have any question? Yeah. Okay, so we can talk about it. I think I know, yeah. All right, so we also have Greg. Do you want to say a few words? I don't know, maybe something that you guys see Bellingham, or you work with. So again, we're just calling Greg Marcoli, some people Greg has been also a long-time organizer in the city Portland, especially with job with justice. And lately, just like very fresh, like last week, they had this amazing gathering in Bellingham that brought together many diverse communities from the social justice movement to really sit down and discuss, all the major things that are going on in our community and our country, but also what are the solutions, the alternative solutions that we want to change. So, Greg, if you want to share a few things with that.
Hey everybody. I do most of my work through Jobs with Justice, which is a national organization. The local chapter has been 21 years now here in Portland. And the idea of Jobs with Justice is that you pledge to go 5 times a year to somebody else's struggle. And the whole idea is to build solidarity and build that kind of togetherness that helps us to really make change. If we're just working on our single issues, it's just going to keep repeating themselves, and we're not going to make the systemic kind of change that we need to really have justice here. And I think it's real appropriate. Martin Luther King's birthday just took place, and the national holiday is on Monday. And Sisters does an event every year to honor that, and I think Martin Luther King believed in the idea of community and labor and faith groups and everyone coming together for justice. And I think this is a perfect example of today's activities. Bose is going to be doing a rally at 2 o'clock up at the Day Labor Center, and then marching down to Rights Green 2, which is a rest center for houseless people. Sisters is doing their event here, and he's going to march over to Rights Green 2. And then a rally will be there, and then we'll go to the seat of power, City Hall, to express that we do want the kind of changes that are needed for people who are getting worse and worse off in this system. So I'm glad everybody's here, and I hope everybody sticks around and participates in the march and shows themselves out in the street, because ultimately the people have the power to make change if we stay together. What Lucy Lena was talking about is connected to the U.S. Social Forum. I don't know how many people are familiar with the Social Forum. It's the United States version of the World Social Forum. The last one was in 2010. We're going to be doing a regional social forum in Portland in September of this year, the weekend of September 26th. So if you put that date on your calendar, be sure to show up. It's going to be over at the First Unitarian Church, and we're hoping or expecting 500 to 1,000 people, maybe more. It remains to be seen, but the purpose of it is, again, to continue these efforts to work together to see how our issues are connected, and to see how this is a problem with frankly, capitalism and corporate capitalism controlling our economy and controlling our culture. So the only way we can ever take that back, and historically the only way that's ever been effective, is by fighting together and saying we're not going to take it anymore. So thanks again for coming, and hope to see you later.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, I'm writing a book about how we started, us homeless people started the tent city that I talked about earlier, up in Seattle. And it's not about how we started it, but what we had to go through as homeless people. You know, the fights, the battles, trying to get allies to help us on out, elected officials, what the neighborhoods were doing and saying, you know, and that struggle that we had within ourselves. And like I said earlier, how we had to keep calm with all that stuff. How, you know, people didn't see it as crime. When they called everybody, all us homeless people advocating baby killers, and we had to take that, you know, but what I talk about is the emotions behind that. When we got into the van or we got back to the tent city, how people were screaming and crying and all upset about it and saying, why are they calling us that? We're parents, we have kids, we wouldn't hurt them and we wouldn't hurt their kids. Why are they calling us baby killers? These are the things that, the emotions that I'm putting out there that we as homeless people have to struggle through. So yeah, I do have a column in Street Roots. I write. I've been writing since, I think 2010. Leo Rhodes. My name is Leo Rhodes. Yeah. Yeah, and I also write poetry too. One of the things, like I said, I like to educate people on homelessness. So here are 2 poems that I wrote. This first one is about just being homeless, but I call it being human with a question mark. And here it goes. I'm the voice you never hear. If I spoke, would you listen? I'm the ugly duckling, visible in your pretty little world. I'm the criminal when I sleep. I'm the nuisance trying to keep dry out of the rain. I'm the homeless person looking for dignity and a safe, secure place. And when I first wrote that poem, people came up to me and said, "You're not ugly, you're not ugly." And I said, "No, that's not what I'm preparing, what I'm saying. What I'm saying is about the shopping carts, about the tents that are out there, about the homeless person sleeping on the sidewalk. Everybody considers that an ugly duckling. They don't want that in their pretty little world. So like what was talked about earlier, the sweets, especially around holidays, Christmas time. You know, they did sweets downtown Christmas. Everybody's supposed to be happy and jolly, but they got rid of the homeless people downtown. You know, and I said, well, you know, it's ho, 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 you know, Merry Christmas, you know, with the sweets. You know, everybody's supposed to be happy yet, but the homeless, they just want them out of that sight. And I've heard it myself. People going by, families going by saying, I don't want that. It's supposed to be happy, jolly, it's supposed to be pretty. That's an ugly thing. We got to get it out of here. You know, then they don't give them a place to go. They do say, okay, there's shelter out there. But the shelters are full. That's why we have this 10-year plan to end homelessness. That's why we have committees to try to end homelessness. There's just not enough out there. Not enough shelters, not enough affordable housing. So yeah, so that's one thing. The other
list on almost every one of them.
Yeah. The other thing is it's called Me and You. Now this one was just about a person, a friend. She was a friend and became a lover, and I inspired her through my advocacy to do the same thing. This was up in Seattle in Ballard. She stays in Ballard. So she got her group of people, her friends that she helps on out, people on the streets. And I was doing the same thing up there in Seattle. And then we hooked up, and then I came down here to Portland. And she came down here to visit. And through the relationship, I learned that that we weren't going to separate. She had her people up there, her advocacy, and I had mine down here. So it didn't really, take. So this is the poem that I wrote. And this poem that I wrote also deals with everybody. I read this poem at another function called Colored Pencils. And when I realized this was just like everybody else, there was a lady there that had just lost her mother. And I thought, wow, this is kind of the same thing. So this poem's called Me and You. Memories come, memories go. Memories need fixing. Other memories fix me. During the hard times and rough times, the memories we made together is what gets me through. Now that's the same thing with homelessness. We have a lot of good memories out there. And when you're telling people they can't be under the bridges to stay out of the rain, they can't sleep, you start thinking about those good memories. You know, and you have to in order, it's a survival mechanism. And that's what homeless people have to rely on, those kind of memories like that. Because there is a lot of bad ones out there. And, you know, and it builds up, like I talked about earlier, you know, but yeah, so these are the two poems. Like I said, I have it, they were in Street Roots. So if you look on our backlog, you'll see that. You'll see other articles that I've written about homelessness too, and I'm still writing about being homeless outside, about talking to the decision makers, and now being inside and what I have to go through just being inside. And also with Right to Dream too. You know, I talk about that too, you know, and what's going on with them. I know their struggles. I know what they're going through with, you know, not having a place to go to, being in limbo. Do we have a place next week? Do we have a place next month? You know, why are they're not working with us? You know, things like that I've been through, and that's what I'm doing is educating them, and you know, they're pretty much educating me too, because I don't know everything, you know, and every time I do learn a lot more when I do go down there. So yeah, I encourage everybody to come here to Sisters of the Road, go down to Right to Dream 2, take your friends there, also down at Street Roots, you know, and we go talk to the people, even out on the streets too, you know, and realize too that they are going through a lot, you know, just being homeless. So yeah, they are human beings, just like everybody else. They do need a safe, secure place, someplace to go, and a lot of people, when I talk to them, like a venue like this, a lot of them say they're preaching to the choir. And yes, I do know that, but there are people out there that are just now starting. The gentleman was telling me that he's just now starting into this, and all the information I got and gave him was really great. So yeah, my apologies. You do know this stuff, but you know, there is other stuff too that you don't know, and I do know being there from ground zero. So thank you.
I just want to say that the time that the City Council had a meeting on Right to Dream 2, I gave testimony. And the next day, I went back there and I talked to people at City Hall. And anybody could do that. So that's what we're doing. I love it when they're located right downtown. Go in there and ask to speak to anyone on the council, including the mayor, if they're there. And if they're not there, you ask to speak to their representative and tell them what you think. I mean, I am not homeless. But I can advocate for those who are on the streets. And I did that, and other people can do that too. We're not really as helpless as we think. And I think you gave testimony there too, didn't you?
Yeah.
I heard you.
I thought you did, yeah.
You did really well.
Thank you. Yeah, she's right, yeah. Well, anybody can go up and talk to that. But like the first two lines of this poem that I just got through saying, I'm the voice that you never hear. If I spoke, would you listen? I actually did say that in front of the city council the last time I spoke. And I referred to Right to Dream too. I said, they're that voice that you never hear. But now that you're working with Right to Dream 2, you know, it's the second line. If I spoke, would you listen? You're listening now because you're working with Right to Dream 2. And that's what it should be like. We all should be working on this. Not saying I am and I know better. Then we can't do it because I know better and this is the structure that should happen. You know, there's other ways. What I always tell people, or the elected officials and decision makers, is they're always asking for help. They're always saying what we're doing isn't working. We need to do something different. But then when advocates like me are saying, okay, shelters in cities, they're like, no, And, you know, and they keep going until they find somebody that thinks just like them. Oh yeah, programs, yeah, housing, which is great, and we do need that. But then also we need an interim, something in the beginning, because there's just too many homeless people out there. They're being victimized right now, or criminalized right now, you know, and it makes it harder and harder for homeless people to be on outreach. And I shouldn't say homeless people, I should just say, you know, human beings, really, they're human beings. There are brothers and sisters, and I say that a lot. There are brothers and sisters, you know, we are all one. We are the human race, and we need to help each other out there. So, you know, that's one of the things that I always try to give on out, give to the decision makers and the community is that support, and that's what we need. Then, you know, again, me speaking, there's other things. There's like, you know, Craig out there and other people that actually speak on out too, and they work in the community too that help on out. That's what we need is a support system too that can go on out there and branch on out further from what we're talking about. But, yeah, so I've seen it happen, like I said before, like I was telling the gentleman, like Tom, earlier, when I started at Sun City, and I told you earlier that how hard it was, and everybody's saying it wouldn't happen, and, you know, to support housing instead of that. I always give this thing of, okay, this is what it was like. Imagine that you have the Great Wall of China in front of you, and you have a pit about this big, and you're hitting that wall and you're trying to make it fall down. And people are like, that's insane, that's crazy. So then I say, yeah, well, we started at Sun City. It was the same thing. You know, in the suburbs, $1 million houses surrounding a continent of 100 homeless individuals. Right between two would have been that same way. And the only reason it did get established, I believe, was because of Occupy. Occupy took the whole attention away from, you know, Right to Dream 2. When we started Right to Dream 2, I'm one of the founders. When we started that, we were saying we need a distraction, especially with the doors. We said we need a distraction because the police are going to see it, they're going to come, they're going to tell us we can't do it, and they're going to do it soon. So we couldn't think of anything, and luckily Occupy came and took all the attention up there, and then that was basically how we got started, was that, because we, you know, we did, yeah. And Occupy hates this when I say this, but I say, imagine there's a fence here, Occupy picked up the fence and we slid right underneath, you know, without anyone really noticing, until all of a sudden they're gone and they're like, oh wait, we got this other place too now. And they did come out for us, and like I said, we like to do too soon, and now we're working with them. You know, it is always, and it's always going to be a struggle, because, like I said before, the education of people having that stereotype of homeless people and what they see in front of them, not what's beyond that, which a lot of people don't understand. So, thank you again, and yeah, thanks for being here.
So right now I say, greatest honor and pleasure to present our skit. So, you know, as I told you that we are meeting Tuesdays, every other Tuesday to talking about our bills and what are the rights that are being violated, and then how to learn about what are the cities doing and how we can invite more people. So the group that is meeting on Tuesday put together a skit. So this skit has two parts, okay? So stay with us. I'm going to set up really fast here, and then we are going to do the first part of the skit, okay? So stay with me.
So all my actors come here.
You know, just a little prep to give you. So just is like, we are going to do like it's a meeting of the, the city has assembled some of the stockholders. Do not remember the word stockholders. So basically, when the city, is assembling some project, they needed to hear from everybody who is impacted. So, so basically, this skit is going to be the city coming with. Yeah. So
keep it simple.
So just like a city meetings, and they invited the stakeholders. So one of the stakeholders to talk about who has the best solution to end homelessness in the city of Portland. So Barry Joe is going to represent the city official. Reed is going to represent PBA, is the Portland Business Alliance. Bruce is going to represent the religious community. And I am going to be representing the housing authority, okay?
Where's the homeless people?
So, this is the second part, okay? Just wait. So, I'm basically like the housing authority will be facilitating the discussion, okay? So, stay with us, and thank everybody. We are so excited to be here, we have a big problem in the city, and homelessness is growing. We are looking after you. This is the best solutions. How we are going to end this big problem, So we are going to call Barry Joe, say how the city of Portland, what is that doing to end homelessness here?
I'm so glad to have the opportunity to address this weighty issue. We considered the
Turn it down.
I'd like to thank you for this opportunity. We've considered the problem of homelessness in Portland, and it's really not an issue of the problem being homelessness. The problem is lawlessness. It's against the law to sleep outside in the city of Portland. And we realize that many of these people have mental health issues. They keep talking about crazy ideas about losing their housing because of bank inappropriate behavior and foreclosures. And we've considered a number of options that we had at our disposal. One was, unfortunately, the Sidley ordinance was one of our resources, and we hope that if we swept people far enough, we could actually sweep them from the city of Portland, and there would have no homelessness in Portland. That homeless problem would be in Gresham. And we did have our 10-year plan to end homelessness, and we realized as the time was getting further and further along that we had to be resourceful. So we looked at our budget, and we found some funds, and we conducted a study. And through our resourcefulness, we realized that if we rebooted the 10-year plan, we would have an additional 10 years. 10 years that didn't even exist at the time we started to address this problem. So we think that if we just have more federal funding, that will be a way to resolve these issues.
Thanks so much for the city. I know that the city is working hard. We recognize, how hard it is, and you guys are doing a great job, and I know that extended the 10 more years, it's going to be really great for us because we have more time, to work, So we appreciate the city's effort. So now I'm going to call the PBA, the Portland Business Alliance. They are very important stakeholders in this process. And so I'm going to call the business Reed and to tell us what has been their solutions to end homelessness in the city of Portland.
Thank you very much. As with every meeting, any ego larger than the Portland Business Alliance needs to be captured and shot immediately. Homeless people are a commodity. We take all the donations that you give to the homeless and sell them in our thrift stores and keep the cash. We have the homeless stand in long lines and keep them drooling like Pavlov's dog for every crumb. Don't you dare give housing my Pavlovian cash cows. We want them on display for the whole world to see. The world!
Wow, seems seems like an interesting idea, but I don't know what the religious community are thinking about. I mean, you know, you guys have been doing hard work, and there's a lot of things going on there. So it'd be nice to hear what our great stakeholders, you know, the religious communities, how they are, what are the solutions for ending homelessness?
Well, we are the faith. We know that, you know, to God, people are important. Everybody's important. And so we try to do all that we can. We've gotten together and built a couple of missions and done a little here and a little there, but we found out that doesn't help. And, you know, we don't all believe the same thing. We got some babies, so we can't kind of get together. We can't seem to work it out to pool our resources, which is what we really need to do. And if we had the PBAs in the city helping us to do that, to organize us, that might help us be able to organize some answers to the homeless issue. But the problem is, we can't get together to make a decision and make that effort any further than just, you know, hey, giving you some clothes or some, you know, some food or some toiletries or something. And so we do the best we can, but the only answer that we can come to is that we need to quit centering all of our attention and all of our resources on ourselves, and turn that attention and those resources out into the homeless situation. And that's our answer. But I want you all to know it's not going to be easy.
Thanks so much. You know, it's amazing. You guys have so many incredible ideas, and so we needed to look at more carefully who has the best solution. And for sure, I know that, you know, putting our heads together, we are going to come up with something that is really great, that is going to make Portland, you know, a well-known city for end homelessness. And I think the city, like some ideas, the sweeps, you know, like the housing authority also has been working hard, you know. We have been come up with lists, so we are looking for affordable apartments. We know that's so hard right now. There's not enough available apartments. You know, people are waiting for a year and a half. We wanted to shorten that time, you know, and I think if the city gives us a little bit more money, so that we work together with other agencies, for sure, the homeless population is going to go down, which is very good for the city, you know. So thanks so much for being here, and we'll keep all your ideas together, and we'll be meeting next time. But I think we need some good food, you know. Like I don't know what happened. There was no coffee, no food. You know, the city sometimes provide good food, but I don't know what happened today. Maybe we should put an agenda for the next time.
Who was on the committee for the food? That's my question.
Okay, so this is like we ended here the first session of our skits. So put your hands together for us. So now we are going to do the second part, okay? Everybody go to all right, so everybody come back here, let's sing, okay?
Who was in charge?
So, you know, here's the agenda. You know, thank you for coming here today. Did you guys grab your coffee? Did you guys meet in the meeting guidelines right there? Everybody knows the meeting guidelines? Everybody thumbs up?
Coffee, thank you.
Everybody thumbs up for meeting guidelines for sisters? And yeah, all right, fantastic. So, you know, yeah, here's the agenda, and so, you know, the homeless bill for rights is coming. And we needed to come together and say, what do we want to have in this bill, you know, and what are the things that how to move forward, but also, one thing that we have to see how we're going to organize the people. So, who wants to speak about, what are the things that, we think about this bill and why it's important to have this bill? What are the protections that we want to have? So, anyone who wants to go first?
We're going to have to stop the criminalization of people's status of being without housing. So I think we should allow people to sleep in their cars if that's what they have to do.
So any other items for the bill that people feel that is important? Yeah? Mr. Bruce,
I think one of another thing we might do is make it okay for people to sleep on park benches or in parks if they needed to. I think that if we all work together, maybe doing that might be a good solution too, part of this.
Yeah, so one thing is people to be able to sleep in the cars in parks, legally parked. So that's one item, that's very important, that's going to protect people. Another one is rest and sleep in public spaces. Yeah, also, what about sharing food in the park? That's another very important thing that people are being criminalized for sharing food. Do you think that it's a good one too?
Yes. We know in the community of faith that we believe in justice, but we believe in mercy also, and we've become together and become to realize that not everybody is involved in criminal activity, and we may not always have the money, but we sure have the political power in terms of being able to vote and influence the city and City Hall to put a little more pressure, because in fact the number of people involved in the faith throughout this city outnumber just about everybody else. So I think we could do that. That's what we want.
So one thing that we have to do is gather personal stories, people telling what happens to them when they're out in the street. Rita, do you have any your personal story, become homeless and have to survive, and how we have encountered, enforcement laws? What has been for you, because we needed to convince the legislators, why this bill is so important.
I think one reason that I'm unable to come up with one single answer is because even though I've traveled extensively, I've not taken the time to listen at the street level to all the issues that the people who are suffering they have. What I have found in traveling the country is that most people are caring, sensitive, intelligent human beings who truly want a better country. If I had to guess a statistic, I'd say that 99% of this country wants a greater, more compassionate country. My advice is to go to the people and hear what they have to say. Listen, and then base our forward momentum on what the problems we hear are.
So basically one thing that you have to do is that this bill makes sense. This bill is a move forward. This bill is to protect the rights of a community that have been discriminated, pushed aside, segregated, moved around, swept, so we have to appeal to the majority, our message, Anybody? That makes sense? Okay.
Also, another piece of advice is to every time something happens, for example, Whoville in Eugene, they're experiencing some great turmoil. Rather than, well, what I recommend is listening, watching, and learning exactly what tactics they're using against Whoville, gather up all their tactics that they're using against us, so we can plan a strategy of defense. We don't necessarily have to go on the attack, But if we keep in mind all the tools and techniques that they use against us, we can use those tools and techniques against them, because for every strength there's a weakness, and for every weakness is a strength. Pay close attention to how they're doing us dirty, because that's the only way they know how to work the system, and then we're going to work their system against them. Thank you.
So basically we need to have like a strategy, no? We need to have tactics. Now we have to know what we are doing. We have to know who has power at the legislative level and how much power we have. So I just feel that, you know, this meeting here is, we need more people, no? Don't just feel like, and we need a lot of more women, no? Don't you agree? And so maybe we should do is kind of open up for like everybody, invite more people, no? So let's open up, let's move our table here. You know, everybody's going to be part of our meeting, and it's going to be larger, you know. Hi everybody, how are you doing? Yeah, so do you like a homeless bill of rights? Yeah. Do you think it's a good idea? Do you think that we can win? Si se puede?
Si se puede.
All right, so thank you for coming to our meeting. It's so amazing to see a great turnout. You know, it means that you're so interested, and then, yeah, we need a lot of people, because people's power is the most important, no? So we appreciate you coming here, and we had a good conversations, and we just started. There's going to be a like PowerPoint presentation. We're going to invite people. We are going to go out, and we are going to do like a lot of deep work, and we'll be well together, organized when we go to the legislature. Okay? So I really appreciate our meeting today. You're part of the skit right now, okay? And so maybe we can say some final words, and just let you know the next meeting is going to be next month. Okay, so Rita, do you want to say the final words before we end our meeting?
One final word. I've noticed that the mind of a disenfranchised individual is like a dead battery. It needs to be recharged. That is why I have trouble moving forward, is because I don't have energy, and I see no direction to go. But Sisters has recharged my battery, even a tiny bit. And if we can somehow recharge our batteries, maybe we can get enough forward momentum with a little bit of oomph to move forward. Thank you.
Oh, fantastic. I really like the idea of recharging batteries. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Along the lines of recharging batteries, I don't know how many of you have heard of Qigong, which is a Chinese health exercises involving breathing, meditation, movement, and I'm going to be offering lessons and beginning Qigong for anybody interested. It's excellent for relaxing at the same time as energizing, mentally calming your mind, at the same time sharpening it, a lot of things. So look for a poster around here sometime soon about when I'm going to start offering that, and all of you and any of you friends or anybody you know would be interested. It's the sort of thing that looks like.
So you don't have a day. You don't have a day yet. For your workshop.
I'm going to likely not be able to offer it here, so but I can do it with the support of the Sisters, which means, and I like to do it outside in parks. This isn't the best season for that, but some days are perfect, so I'm going to have to work it out. But I'm going to put up a list, and anybody who's interested, it's spelled Qigong, or used to be Chikung, which sounds more like the way it's pronounced. Look for that somewhere over there on the bulletin board, and put your name on, and we'll see about getting people together to find a place.
Thank you. All right, so do you want to say something? Oh yeah, so maybe you can ask, we have to, you guys have now been brought to a skit, but we have to end the skit, so we have other speakers. So I just say it as a reminder, you know, stay in touch with us. My name is Lenny, and I am one of the organizers here at CISU for the homeless Be Your Friends. And thank you for coming to our meeting today. It was really great to have seen so many people and so many faces. So now we went to the skit here and we go back to our program. Okay, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Okay, so now I'm back in my role of SMC. So we have two other amazing speakers. We have Sandra Hernandez, Dr. Sandra Hernandez from the Tree Institute, who has been instrumental in working for the passing of, you know, the Oregon healthcare in coalition with many organizations, and also Sandra does theater, you know, community organizing with the Latino community, working with women. As he said, you know, healthcare is very important, you know, and have access to alternative medical care. It's important as well. So we are in the process of having a healthcare reform. I don't know what to call it, but before it's called healthcare reform. But so I just called Sandra to talk a little bit about what's going on and how, what are the status of the healthcare reform that passed. You know, how people are organizing together very well. So what are the issues? You know, what are the problems? So Sandra, give him a big applause, okay?
I didn't come to speak, okay? I came to talk and listen to you, actually. So, depois você fica um pouquinho. Eu sei que segura aqui. Who believes that healthcare is a human right? Woo! Everyone? Really? So, if you believe that healthcare is a human right,
Michael, Scott, oh, okay. I don't think so.
Going to work. Just a second. Thank you. So, Lucilene actually asked me, Sandra, could you come and talk about cover Oregon? How is the implementation of the health system transformation? And then I told her, you know what, Lucilene, I'm not really up to this moment to talk about that in terms of, we know many people are still outside of the process and there are lots of difficulties, but for sure there are many good organizations helping and supporting people to enroll in the new system, health system transformation. So the, as Lucilene was trying to find the words, is we have the, Michael, help me with the number of the organizations, CCOs. Yeah, but CCOs are the... Coordinated care. Yeah, coordinated care organizations. So there are lots of them. And I really didn't come to say because I'm quite sure most of you know a lot, but we can still give you some information if that's what you like, okay? But what I told Lucilene, sorry, yeah? So I told Lucilene, maybe what we really should do is just have a few minutes thinking together, putting our heads together, what it means, healthcare, for each of us. When I come and say, I believe healthcare is a human right, it's, you know, something that is not just came, you know, from anything. It came from lots of observations, working together, being in the community, being myself as a person of the community here in Oregon and in Washington State as well. So the point is how each community like us here are, gosh, surviving, fighting to really get the minimal care that you need and really looking for a preventive care. So my point is, how many of you we already got or not to some coverage to the Medicaid or Medicare? How many here? We have, yeah? Like 50% maybe of the people have some coverage. Let's just right here. So you do have about 50% of the community here. And how about Cover Oregon, the recent changes? Do you have you done it? Anybody really got to that? How many? Can you please just state your hand? How many have done it? Was able to? Oh, maybe? And how many tried and couldn't get it?
Qualified.
Oh my gosh, 1, 2, 3, go. We have, I don't know, but a number of people here who didn't got this. Then my question for you now would be, what is a human right for you? Can you tell me? I just want to hear you, not me saying what is a human right. What do you think? Would you say? Yeah? You want to say something?
Human rights concerning health care, I believe would be that everyone, that we would have systems or create a system that would be absolutely level and even and put everyone on the same footing. And I don't think anything less than that will ever help.
Great, thank you so much.
Human right for healthcare to me means, and I've experienced this, I happen to have such a mental breakdown. I'm in the hospital 3 weeks out of the month because I don't have insurance to go to the doctor to properly get a mental health diagnosis, to get put on medication because I don't have the money to do so. Thank you.
Wow, thank you for sharing your story. That's amazing.
You don't have to sign up for it.
Oh, so a human right, that's something you don't have to sign up for. Do.
Like that.
And you can't lose it.
Have to sign up for. And well, something, yeah.
And you can't lose it.
You can't lose it. Yes. You can't lose it.
Say, oops, sorry.
Yeah, somebody else?
No pre-existing condition disqualifications.
Yes.
No disqualification.
Period. Yeah.
No pre-existing conditions, right? And somebody said something else? Greg?
Just.
It's for people, not profit.
Yeah.
Wait, it's for people. For people. Not profit. That's just great, right? Anything else? Anything else? Anybody else? Yes? Yeah? Yeah. Just a little talk, whatever you have in your mind.
It keeps us all healthy as individuals and as a society.
So, it keeps us healthy, so it's about prevention. Can I say this? Yeah? So keep us healthy. And prevention. Anything else?
Which will require, oh my goodness, prevention is going to, that kind of thing is going to happen only in a clean and appropriate environment.
So
the environment is going to play a lot to do with working.
So lots about the environment. So look at where we are expanding along. We're not talking about the environment, it's everything in our city, in our state, in the country, in the world, right? So environment. Okay, so we can talk, there are, I'm certain, a list of these things that we are thinking that sometimes we express, sometimes we are concerned, but I came to tell you and share something with you, or discuss as well, if you are in agreement to some of the ideas we are looking to bring to us in Oregon and in the United States. So, as Lucilene mentioned, we have been working with large coalitions. In Oregon, we have now Healthcare for Oregon, and in several other states. really working, together and growing number of organizations working together to bring healthcare for everyone. As you guys said, human rights is about everyone. So that's one of our mottos. But we also are using healthcare is a human right. And it's hard for people maybe in this state to understand. Not everybody understands that we say healthcare is a human right. But if we believe it, we can show it, right? So what we did and what we are working with people is using this kind of, I put this in a star because I like just the representation. It's good for, a graphic remember. Some people have more visual way of seeing things. But what we have been doing at Healthcare for Oregon is saying universal healthcare is a human right. And how to get there. So we created for ourselves, a commitment to 6 main principles. How we are going to get a healthcare that can get us there. So in here, it's just for you to know it and really to learn from you if you believe this is a way we can get there. So we said universal, right? We said participation. So everybody has the right to participate in how we are deciding about our healthcare. Yes. Make sense? Public good. Wow, there's something hard. Some people, what is it exactly? Like, we have the right to water, right? We have the right to education, public schools, which is kind of trembling right now. I don't know if you guys have been following all the things going on out there, but it is. So, healthcare should be just a right, as for everyone, right? That's the idea, okay? Affordable. Yes. That, if you have to pay for our taxes, it will be a little bit from each of you, each of us, and then we really can share and have a healthcare for everyone in a good quality, right? Make sense?
Sliding scale. Sliding scale.
Sliding scale. Sliding scale. So we have to discuss this together. That's the point. What is for you, what is for her, is for him. And transparent. How? What is the transparency thing? It's really something that when we are talking about how it's going to be implemented, what is that we are going to get, which benefits, should be everything open and everyone have the right and ability to understand in your language and whatever would be your level of understanding of health, literacy for health, whatever would be, but that we can really understand. That would be the point. So, but all of this, then I propose to my colleagues, and Michael is over there. Why you don't come here, Michael? He's part of this. He's our president right now at the Healthcare for Oregon. Did you know that? That's Michael Moore. So we put together the idea that equity is one of our principles. And equity means exactly like in sliding scales, whatever would be, but everybody will have the quality. Wouldn't be different for him or for me or for her, but really for everyone. We reach that, but in a way that, if she needs more, she would have a little bit more. If she needs less, so it's just like, balancing from everyone. So, does this make sense to you?
Yes.
I'd like to really hear from you. What do you think?
Yes.
Yes. This is a really excellent idea, and my question is, where are you going with it? Are you taking it to the city? Are you taking it to a state? Where are you taking it?
This?
Yeah. I first got to get the ideas straightened out, of course, with all of our participants.
Okay.
But then where do you ultimately plan to bring this?
Wow, that's an amazing question. Thank you so much, because the point is right now we are taking right here, inside our sisters, inside all communities that we can. We need to outreach all the communities. Of course, we are doing our work here as a coalition, talking with legislators, and we are just organizing right now an event that's my organization and bringing ACAO and other partners, and we hope sisters and you all will be there. On March 1st, we are organizing one event in Gresham, exactly where our colleague was talking about a few minutes ago. This is for everyone. It's a Saturday, so it's an easy way of, better in traffic and everything. And we are going to bring just everyone, all communities. There are lots of immigrants there, you guys probably know, but also lots of us as well, and also being homeless as well. So then we are bringing legislators to talk to us and listen to us, not just they coming and telling us what they think, but we should be there to tell them what we think.
Yeah, I was just saying, yes, I agree with you, because, the decisions are being made, but we're not having anything to do with the decisions that are being made about us.
Yeah. So that's the point. We see, so the decisions can, like you guys are doing the bills of the Mobilize or Bill of Rights. So it cannot be by them, it has to be by us with them. Or if they are the in charge of the laws, or to make official the law, but the law must come from us together, not they representing us only. They have to represent, but shouldn't be just this way, right?
A quote that I heard, I don't know what it was applied to, but nothing about us that doesn't include us, which is a general, can apply to a lot of things.
Yeah.
Amen.
Great. Amen. Amen. So, yes, please.
Yeah, I was involved with that in Seattle. It was not about us without us, and unfortunately, it was rather short-lived due to various factors. But it's the same general idea.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing this.
I wanted just to share an experience I had about a month ago, well before Christmas. I decided to attend some of the open meetings for the public, county and city, and meetings that they have for the public, with the city officials, with alcohol and drug addiction, disability. And as I sat down in that meeting, amongst all the privileged, elite group of people, decision makers, I sat and I listened to them, together trying to decide what meant. What does disability mean? What does this mean? How can we, let us find a definition for this and a definition for that. And I felt it was sad and depressing for me to sit there and they're trying to decide, what words mean as relative to what it is to be human being. Making decisions on policy, making policy decisions about various groups of people, homeless, disabled, drug and alcohol addiction, mental illness. They're making decisions and trying to find terms to define us, to put in their bureaucratic documents and paperwork. So about us, and I felt so sad, and there was no one representing the people that were being discussed. I mean, you have Human Services, somebody representing the Department of Human Services, the state or whatever. But no one representing actual humans that actually go through the conditions that
the community.
The community is not there, and the public, these meetings are for the public, but, I'm beginning to wonder, who's the public?
I know I interview you. And how, as the meeting was going on, did you have opportunity to talk?
I had an opportunity to talk. I think I was allowed a minute, maybe 2 minutes. And they said, thank you very much. That was helpful. And people shake their heads, but, it has to be more than just one person. More people need to come to find out what they're doing and set in on what they're doing. I mean, that's what I feel. maybe that should be. That's what I feel, because I learned a lot.
Exactly, we are looking to do today when we are talking together. What we are going to do if we don't do this together.
Yeah.
So the same thing about these meetings, like where I'm saying, tomorrow we are going to a large, statewide coalition, because you're asking where we are taking this, how. So we have a meeting at least every 6 months, because it's statewide. It's not easy for people to come to several. Oregon is kind of a hard in terms of geographic, very spread, but we do it our best, and we like to discuss how we are doing, what we are going to do. So, but right now I can already share you a couple of things, because I'm also in the board of this organization representing immigrants and communities hard to reach healthcare like us, and that's why Michael Moore and I and other people, we are working together on this. So anyways, right now we are really going to discuss several things about a strategic plan that we put together, and these are several actions. And like events like this and the other organizations doing other events is really to bring people to know and get together and learn. And then when we go to meetings, we go and support each other. But then beginning 2015, we are preparing. 2014 will be a preparation to the bill we are going to introduce again inside of the legislature, because this is too short, doesn't work now, just 1 month. But beginning of 2015, right, Michael? That's what we are planning. And really a referendum, we might have to go to a ballot measure. Doesn't matter. We are going to work through this, because we want to get this for Oregon. And working together with the other states, already we know that about 25 states are doing what we are doing here. So we are going to force the process to the federal until we get this to everyone. Okay? So please stay tuned, and thank you so much for participating, listening, and I really support you guys with your bill, and I really wish and I will do what I can to support as well. Thank you.
I really appreciated the graphic, because it's very confusing. Like Sandra and I were involved in the entire process of the healthcare reform in Oregon since 2009. Yeah, so we went to several meetings, and one of the meetings was a coalition of like many organizations that met in Tiger. Remember the Tiger meetings? Yes. So we used to go. There were like members of the unions, the ARP, like nurses,
and pharmaceutical and hospitals. Yeah. So you can imagine the level of people meeting there.
So the question was like, on the table was not the issue of healthcare for all, was like how we could create something that that the insurance companies could like abide to. It was really like accommodating, a lot of discussion accommodating like insurance companies, making like less impact on them, instead of like, we need to get insurance companies out of the healthcare business and create a system that, is easy, accessible, good quality, So Sandra and I, we are Brazilians. In Brazil, we have a universal public healthcare system. And a lot of the discussions I said, if Brazil, the majority of the world has public healthcare system, so why is it so hard in this country to really have a universal public healthcare system? And then the issues, because the corporations are the ones who are profiting from the healthcare system, and they are so powerful because they have lobby money, and they control hospitals, and they control the system, and that's why any discussions is led by socialists, And from Sandra and I perspective, it doesn't make any sense, because Brazil has a good healthcare system. Some things don't work well, but everybody has access to a clinic, to a doctor, and we don't have to pay. We don't have to get in huge debts just because we need to have a doctor. And so it was interesting discussion. I got out, and I'm glad that Sandra continues, because. And
I have my background in health as a psychologist and other things that I do. But really, just want to say one thing that Lucilene mentioned, that we almost kind of give up to be there, but if we do this now, that was 2009. See, now we're 2014, already 5 years. Gosh. And if we had given up that moment, they wouldn't be listening to us, whatever would be, like, and us representing Latino communities there. Now, finally, we have some other Latino organizations also looking to talk a little bit more about health and doing more in the health reform. So that's what we also have to look at. How can we bring our peers and colleagues, right?
I just wanted to say that I was thinking of pedagogy of the oppressed.
You're reading? Whoa! Okay, whoa! Because so everybody should just read it.
Yes, I was just getting ready, you know, if people, whoever's interested, you know, he came from Brazil, and there's an organization here right now called the Theater. There's a group here now, and the person that started it, her name is Tamara, and I wanted to know if you were open to like connecting with some other people to join along. I believe it's possible, you know. I think it is possible.
So your name? Caroline. So thank you so much, Caroline, for bringing this. This is just something else for us. Whoever would like to consider reading something that would be not directly related with healthcare, but to human rights for sure. All human rights, because pedagogy of the oppressed is the foundation of my own work, as much as Lucilene has been doing on her work. So that's what we do, and she said, our organization, what I came to do here is really using theater of the oppressed, which is based on pedagogy of the oppressed. So what you mentioned about this person that you met, she also used theater of the oppressed. Yeah, and we use both, pedagogy and theater of the oppressed. So thank you, and that's why we are working together with sisters.
So okay, everybody to know, we still have one more presenter, and we need also to recharge your battery. How is your battery? Good. Yeah, it's being recharged. It's like when you plug in your charger, you know, like your battery get it like, you know, the little symbol, you get it like, you know, like ringing, like the bars. So your bars, your battery bars, your energy is going up. Yeah? Or it's going down? Yeah?
I've been being recharged since the beginning.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. You know, I just say that Reed is who was in our state. He's kind of new to being on the streets, and Reed has been coming to sisters, and he has been learning a lot about, you know, rights, and he's very excited. So that's one thing about sisters, like this place that, you know, people come here and they think that they're coming to get a good plate of food, and then they're after getting more, you know, they're after like getting an opportunity to be involved in community organizing. So we are going to call our next presenter. They are coming from Hive, and you know, a community organization that is how it's like, you know, Sandra said healthcare for all, but also Hive is about housing is for everyone. So let's give them a big like hands together.
Hi, my name is Grace, and it's pronounced hyphy, although it looks just like hype. And it stands for Housing is for Everyone. We used to be We Are Oregon. I don't know if anyone has heard that name before. And basically, we're a community organizing group that works on preventing evictions, either on foreclosed mortgages or like landlord rental issues. And it relates to homelessness in that many people experience homelessness when they've been either targeted by banks or landlords, lose their home. Right now in this country there are more empty homes than there are homeless people. And this kind of just highlights the fact that if we really believe that housing is a human right, every single person who wanted a house could have one. That doesn't right now. And so we believe that organizing a movement of resistance in our communities to stop this process and stop homes from standing empty, sometimes for years, after someone's been evicted is a really important step. Yeah, so Hyphy used to be VR Oregon, and right now we're just continuing to do the same work.
Yeah, I'm So the statistic that's been thrown around is that there's 23 empty homes for every homeless person in the United States. I'm just curious how many people here have heard of that statistic, right? We're aware of that at all. Because for me, that was 23 empty homes for every homeless person. And these, in many cases, these homes are being kept empty by banks after they've been foreclosed on. And they'll sit empty for 1, 2, 3 years, and no one can live there. Which is kind of, to us, completely absurd, just a symptom of the exploitative environment that's being continually propagated by the banks in our culture. So what we're out to do is to keep people in their homes. This is sort of the flip side of the coin to what the Homeless Bill of Rights and the notion that housing is a human right is trying to do. Everyone here that's doing that great work is trying to get people into homes. We're trying to keep people that already have homes there. So if anyone here knows anyone or is themselves experiencing foreclosure or eviction, landlord problems, we'd be super happy if you come talk to us. If anyone wants to get involved, we're really trying to build capacity at Hype right now for some new fights, and so we'd love to have more people turn out to our meetings. Our next meeting is the 31st, I believe. If anyone, that's probably TBA, so if anyone wants to come to the meeting, please come talk to Grace or I. We'd love to speak to you. I'm Sam, by the way.
Where are they done? Come to where?
Okay. So we meet the second and fourth Saturday of every month at St. Andrew's Church on 8th in Alberta at 10 o'clock a.m.
If you go to our website, housingisforeveryone.org, you can look up the address and the meeting times and stuff. Or if you want, you can give one of us an email address or a phone number and we can follow up with you if meetings aren't your thing but you want to be involved or anything. And we have flyers on the back table if you wanted to take one. That has the number you would call to talk to us, so.
Yeah.
Any questions?
I think that what you are doing is very excellent and it has to be done. But what organizations do you connect with or know of that once a home is foreclosed on, people go and squat in it or occupy it or something like that? Have you heard of that?
So we've done some home reclamation stuff where someone's been kicked out by the banks and then post-eviction has come work with us and we've built support in their neighborhood and actually moved them back in. And we have a few people who we did that with like a year or so ago. They're still in their homes. So we do a little bit of that.
Yeah, I mean, in our case, we're not even calling it squatting. We're calling it keeping people in their homes because they have a right to that sovereign property of their land and their belongings. We're certainly in solidarity with some of those squatters' movements, but I think that we consider our work just keeping people in the homes.
Well, what's the old saying? An ounce of prevention worth a pound of cure.
Yeah, certainly. I think we'd agree with that. Are there any other questions?
I want to make very clear that whatever anybody is doing is excellent. I never want to detract from what anybody is doing. When I was teaching, my students always wanted to say, let's do this instead of that. And I would say, what is this either or stuff? Get rid of it. We have to have both ends. So we need you, definitely, absolutely, positively, and we need the other organizations that are doing more radical things. So I'm a both and. I never want to detract from anybody's good work that they do. Hooray for you.
Yeah, and what Hype is doing from some perspective is fairly radical in a sense. I mean, keeping people in their homes through mass turnouts has been one of our main strategies, which the police have been unfortunately fairly successful in matching, kind of tit for tat, bringing out new strategies, closing down whole blocks, getting there preemptively. These are all things that police have been trying to do, and we're just kind of trying to counter-strategize against that and develop the next round of wins, really. So we'd love to have community input and bring more minds to the table in that, so we'd welcome any and all of you to come out to a meeting. Any other questions?
Could you clarify
by closing out a whole block.
Yeah.
As a police strategy, what do you do?
Yeah, so initially with the work we were working was doing, and I think Grace can also probably speak to this more, it was fairly easy to turn out a bunch of people and have the element of surprise against the police.
When you're trying to, in the moment of conviction.
In the moment of conviction.
Yes.
Yeah, right. But as that strategy evolved, we began to see the police being more and more aggressive, trying to basically call our bluff, you know, and turn out in vast numbers themselves at wee hours in the morning, make it impossible for people to access the block in the hours preceding the eviction, etc.
You mentioned that there are a lot of empty houses that are owned by banks, particularly foreclosed. So what is your policy towards a squatter?
So we kind of touched on this earlier, but we have done and are very pro moving people back into empty homes if they live there. Also, we've talked a lot about in our organization a goal of someday being able to move houseless folks into empty homes that they haven't previously owned. The thing about that is you need the whole neighborhood to be in support of that for it to work. Because if there are stigmatizing attitudes in the neighborhood where someone lives next to an empty house and they're like, oh, what are these squatters being moved in by all these activists, and they're just going to call the police, that's not going to work. So that would be more down the road if we had a lot of strong support in the neighborhood, moving homeless folks back into an empty house. But I think that, we are definitely think that every home should be occupied if there's someone who wants to be in there, whether or not you would call it a squatter.
And that's definitely been one of the most key strategies for HIFE is building community support. Going door to door, canvassing, letting people know what's going on, getting the neighbors behind our movement and our mission. Because without them, again, yeah, it's just an insidious report to the police what's happening is some kind of illegal activity because they don't understand. You had a question?
I was just thinking about what you said, because usually you have to go through the neighborhood association. And like if the neighborhood association does have stigmatizing attitudes, it's not going to be possible to move somebody in home. And then once they get in, they'll find ways through the city to try to shut it down. So,
having the neighborhood on board is crucial.
Yeah, having the neighborhood on board is something that's crucial, but, you know, is there a way to go about it, like, I don't know, I'm always thinking of having ideas, but I just wanted to say that usually the neighborhood association has to be on board with anybody moving into an empty home, and I'm wondering if some laws could be changed. You know, do we have the power to even change laws?
I mean, as an organization, HIFE, I think, would love to have the capacity to be advocating on that level or in solidarity with movements that are on that level. We're first and foremost a direct action group. And that's what we see our work as. There's a number of other organizations, I'm not the best expert on all of those that are going on in Oregon, that can help people if they need advice regarding financial aspects. There's also a number of organizations doing advocacy around the legal aspects of mortgages, foreclosure. That's not our primary work, but we're certainly in solidarity and total support.
Do you work with another organization? Do you kind of like...
Do we work with another organization?
Do you have like another organization that you can work with, that you like collaborate with?
We're in touch with different organizations. Fair Home Lending, a few people from their group, they work on trying to identify legal situations where a bank has targeted a minority group, especially like a community of color, for predatory loans, and moving legally on that. We're in contact with Portland Solidarity Network that does some similar stuff. We don't really partner with anyone primarily, but we're in contact with, and we can get other people in contact with different groups.
Hi, my name is John. I don't know these wonderful young people, but I was one of the original HIFE members. I worked for We Are Oregon. So what they're trying to say, you all, is that when we went on May 1st, 2012, we moved Alicia Jackson back in her house. She's still there. We moved 80-year-old Miss Annette Steele back into her house in July of 2012. She's still there. Patricia and Darren are still in their house in East Portland. So what we're saying is that if you look at anything in history, change comes through mass participation. It comes from mass movements. It doesn't come from the legislature. Even when laws are changed, it's because there's a movement behind them pushing the legislature to make those laws. Is that right? Yeah. So that's what these young people are saying to you all, is that, yeah, we're not saying people don't need to be out there changing laws, but we're saying we got to be in the streets to make change. That's the only way we make it, and that's what HYPHE is doing. So you should get involved with them. You know, I have a lot of other things I'm involved in, so I'm not involved with HYPHE much anymore, but I still very much support the program. I think it's a wonderful thing, and what they're saying is true. They need more people to get involved to help them do this, because I've been in those houses when the police have raided them, and you need a lot of people to hold those houses. You can't do it with 5 or 6 people. You know, I've been beat, pepper sprayed, protecting people's houses in this town. So you need people to do that if we want. We can do it, but we can't just talk about doing it. We got to get involved to make it happen, and that's what they're trying to say.
Thank you. Thank you. No, yeah.
Somebody behind you there.
Just a little technique I read about. I don't remember which country it was in, but some protesters who were being attacked by, SWAT-type attired police forces held up mirrors to them, to the police, and this was the whole action. Yes. And I don't know how far that goes, but I think if there are human beings behind all that armor, it may have some effect, and I propose that as in future situations.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Anything else? Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks so much.
The food is really good, so I suggest that you have eaten this more. There are a few things we got Annette. Do you want to read? Are you ready for the points? Read the points? No? Okay, but if you want to do, so if not, we are going to write our own poem, and we are going to finalize the event today with music, and then we are going to kind of clean up the cafe, and then I don't want you to leave. We want you to stay because we still have a march to do, and everybody who is here, we are going to be leaving from Sisters to Right to Dream 2. Gathering there, there's going to be other like set of presentations and speeches, and then from there, voice, the day labels are coming over the bridge, and then we are going to go to the City Hall. Yeah, sure. And so Annette, who is a volunteer with Rose Heaven, and has been like a long time advocated for the homeless community. Do you want to come in and present some of the poems that you guys collected?
Yes, I didn't bring the poems, but I'd be happy to tell you about it, because one thing neat about our Rose Haven calendar is that it shows what we can do with our poems. When we write, we can always find a place to put them. How many of you are familiar with Rose Haven? It's a great place for women and children, and it's on 18th and Everett in the basement of the Emmanuel Lutheran Church, and we have wonderful clothes, a lot of really donors that shop for nice things, donate clothes. We have good food. Trader Joe's and Open Belly give us their salads and sandwiches from the day before. We have counseling, we have classes. I do a writing class there. And we came up with the idea a couple of years ago to make a calendar with the Rose Haven name on it, and to put our poems and artwork in the calendar. So the art class and the writing class collaborated to make this calendar. It's really neat. Come on, buy it and take a look if you're good at it. Yeah, write poetry. You can write down anything you see and it can become a poem. Find a place to put it, and I know Street Roots is a
try poetry, but wow, it's a good way to get things out of bed sometimes too, just to say what's on your mind. So I hope you'll like poetry.
All right. Thank you, Annette, so much. So we are going to write a poem together, you know, it's called A Poem of Justice. So basically, you know, I'm going to go around and then you say one word that for you is like what it means to have rights. You know, like if you can say food or whatever. So I write those. So we are going to take turns, okay? So, Sandra, você quer escrever uma? So, I'm asking Sandra because I put the paper really high and she's following. So Sandra, você quer escrever uma palavra assim? Mete a palavra. Yeah. So let's go around and say one word that for you represents like your rights of your individual rights, collective rights, human rights, you know, society rights. So one word.
Safety.
Safety.
Collectivity.
Collectivity. Trabajo. Say trabajo.
Eating.
Eating.
Yeah, one word.
Openness.
Openness.
Dignity.
Dignity.
One word that is important, like rights, like safety, connectivity, job. What's one word that humanity and
Humanity. Humanity, humane.
Home.
Home.
Security.
Experiment.
Experiment.
Freedom.
Freedom.
Happiness.
Happiness.
The right to have our birthright, Constitution.
Constitutional rights.
Do you have respect up there? Do you have respect? No. Okay, then respect.
Respect. Joy. Joy. World. World.
Sorry? Word? What she said? World.
Love.
World.
Love.
Word?
World, yeah. Love. Anybody out there? Any word?
I think that I said openness. Openness without condemnation. Without condemnation.
Good. Wait, openness without condemnation.
Openness doesn't make sense in itself.
But let's leave the way it is. There you are. Without condemnation. Okay. All right. So, are you ready for our poem for justice? Okay. Privacy, yeah. Privacy. Anybody else? All right, one more word.
Reset. Reset. R-E-S-E-T. Refresh. It means refresh. Refresh is okay.
Oh, reset, refresh.
You can say refresh.
Okay. Okay.
Bodily integrity.
Bodily integrity. Okay. No, that's so good. That's so good.
Equality.
Equality. Healthcare. Healthcare for all.
Peace.
Peace. Anybody else? Can you know the word?
Safe place to sleep.
Safe place to sleep.
The pursuit.
Huh?
The pursuit.
I didn't understand.
The pursuit.
Pursue.
Yeah.
Pursue of what?
Happiness.
I think you said that. Pursue of happiness. Okay. All right.
Pursue of happiness.
Pursue of happiness. Yeah. So after we do just then, if you want to press, it's going to be like 2 minutes. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to put all this together and make up like kind of like spoken word poem, okay? So I do, but if there's anyone who wants to come here and just like do it, I'm open to that.
I put equity.
Equity, okay. We believe that a world that practices, believes, and acts in a just way needs to have safety for all, with our collective rights protected, to have jobs, to be able to be eating healthy food that is not poisoned by HGMOs or by the corporation in the agricultural power. To have openness so we can have access to the media and we can be together with each other. We want openness without condemnation because it's very important to maintain, to have dignity, and that humanity are protected in a human way. A world is justice, a world in which we have homes, that we can go to a safe place and have a place that, you know, that we can rest and sleep without being harassed. We want a security to know that it protects our jobs, security for being pushed away by our economic system. We have experiments and we have many ideas. We want a safer place to sleep because that's important to pursue of happiness. We want a freedom. We fight for freedom because freedom means happiness. Happiness means protection of our constitutional rights. Our constitutional rights give us respect as human beings. And respect gives us joy. We want a world peace and we want a privacy from corporations that spy in the government that spy on us. We need body integrity for being free of abuse of any kinds. We want equality. Equality means healthcare for all. We want a peace. We want equality for all. This is a just world. So does anybody want to come and do the same way what I did, like using some of these words? Does anyone feel inspired? Yeah, do you guys like our poem of justice, our collective poem? That's great. So you can use the same technique like in other settings. It's really easy to make. The only thing is putting together. I don't know if, as you know, English is not my first language, so that was later. But anyway, so our last presenter for the day, we're going to end up the program with music, but of course our program doesn't end here because we have a march to do. So I want to call our presenter last. Yeah. And so please, yeah. So, yeah. So Chris is going to perform for us, and I think that one thing about freedom, justice, and happiness is also for us to be able to enjoy culture and for us to practice culture. We think that a culture is only given by corporation, the media, and then you have to go to theaters to get culture. But we make culture. And there's so much culture in our community, and therefore it's so important that we end with culture being part of our program. So Chris is getting settled in, and as he said, so how are you feeling today? Yeah, it was a good day to spend the day together. Yeah, did you like the food? Yeah, really good. All right, so I'm so glad that on behalf of Sisters of the Road and our coalition organizations, we thank you very much for being here, for staying with us together. I know that you didn't come to watch a presentation, but you are part of the presentation and part of the program. And Sisters only works because of the people who come here, because of our community members. So thanks so much for being here. On behalf of Sisters, of our staff, that has been working hard, we are going to do our last piece of the program, and then everybody started help us clean up the place, and don't go away, stay here, and then there's signs out there, grab a sign, and then when we are ready to march, we're going to be marched to right to Dream 2, okay? And then from there, we're going to march to the city. So, thanks so much, and again, if we came late, my name is Lucilene Lira, and I work at Sisters. And if you want to talk to me about the homeless bill of rights, we have sign-up sheets, we have flyers, and they grab me. I work full-time here, so come looking for me. Sometimes I don't work full-time in the cafe. I do more like the community organized, but they say, hey, Lucilene, everybody knows, there's only one Lucilene. So they're looking for me, and they say, hey, Lucilene, there's someone looking for you. So I come down and talk to you. And the first Tuesday and the third Tuesday of the month, we'll be gathering together in the PC area, which is where you take the time slot. And we are going to have a conversation, things about the homeless bill of rights and other things that we are on the town, okay? So stay with us. And Chris, are you ready? All right, so let's put our hands together for Chris, okay?
Thank you very much. It's really good to be here. My name is Quincy Davis. I'm a hip-hop artist here in Portland, born and raised in Portland. Yeah. I also go by the name of Soul Miner, so you can check me out, soulminer.com, but I should wait till the end to say that, but anyways. So I'm going to just go ahead and, Mike Crenshaw, can we give it up for Mike Crenshaw one time? Those who know. Really great supporter of the community, hip-hop artist, activist. He invited me to be here to speak some words, so I can't really compare to him, but I'll do my thing, and we'll keep it moving. And let's see, are y'all excited for the march, though? Yeah. All right. All right. So I got a few tracks here. It's the love. It's love for my people. It's love knowing one another as an equal. I'm looking for the good, not the evil. It's time to step the game up and get about the ego. It's love for hip-hop, love for my people. It's love knowing one another as an equal. I'm looking for the good, not the evil. It's time to step our game up. Yeah. I feel it's been a minute since my people simply kicked it. Now it's all about the business in the game. I feel something changed with wicked mind frames. Slick with my name, gotta put the sign names and the gifted. Switch up their ancestor liquid. Pose like it's scripted. My flows is encrypted like artifact. Fakers never spit a harder track. Love, I brought it back through the art of rap. With hip hop, my mistress, I tune out the frequencies. With the frequency, I do it for the hub. It's off the top of the dome, kicking in its sisters a roll where everybody got a home. Everybody knows I'm not a clone, I'm not alone when I'm kicking it with my community. Into the system, it's my immunity, cause we are together. It's the love for hip hop. Love for one another, love for yourself. When you look inside the mirror, don't have to have no fear. I see the vision clear when I look. I gotta see the youth close, cause I know we choose the future that we choose. Living this, and I'm living this to prove. Yeah, love for hip hop is love for my people. It's love, knowing one another as an equal. Living for the good, not the evil. It's time to step our game up and get up out the ego. It's love for hip hop, love for my people. It's love, knowing one another as an equal. I'm living for the good, not the evil. It's time to step my game up. Do my best how I feel right now. And I can give about a deal right now. It's for my people. No caps, I got a bill right now. But heal right now. This is real right now. Cause I ain't gotta spit the same game. Money win the thing. Perpetuate the same thing from the ego brain. I feel it's time for a change. Hip hop, go wherever we go. I'm saying, let me take a moment to look up to the sky. Well, my people steady searching for us, really up inside. If you down for the cause, down to rise. It's like the blazes, we down to rise, but we not playing games. And we not just spectators, we living our lives with a purpose. And I'm spitting with my rhyme from deep below the surface. See, it's the love for hip hop, it's love for my people. It's love, knowing one another as an equal. I'm living for the good, not the evil. It's time to step our game up and get about that ego. It's love for hip hop, love for my people. It's love, knowing one another as an equal. Living for the good, not the evil. It's time to step our game up and get up out that ego. Ho, 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 ho. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So where you at? One time say, when I say what's it all about, you say it's the love. It's like, it's the love. So what's it all about? The love. What's it all about? The love. One more time. It's the love. Yeah. Big ups to Joe Anybody. Big ups to B Media in the building. Yeah, give it up for yourselves one time right now. Come on. We are ready. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for bearing with me for when I forget my lyrics. Thank you for that. Thank you, man. It's the love. Sometimes it's the simple things in life. But, you know, we always tend to complicate our, you know, we get our minds and, you know, we complicate things, and it's sometimes the most simple things. And that's why, you know, here we are in this moment, you know what I mean? This is where our power is. Can you turn it up, Soundman, a little bit? I quit drinking coffee, so I'm drinking black tea. That's that good stuff. Yeah. Feel it. Feel it. Listen. Yeah. I look around and try to understand. If people knew the blood that is on our hands, would we have to think of how to find a way to help other people that would die today? Can someone help me try to understand how this the home of the slave and the freedom land? Is this how we going down in history? Or will we be the change we wish to see? Yeah, is this what you call humanity? A society seduced in the fear and the dire confusion? Is this what you call sanity? Or are we choosing delusion and desire in this empire of illusion? If you hear me, tell me, can it be that if they manage our perception, all our actions are neutralized? Or are you really understanding me? Why you intellectualize technicalities and how we brutalize helping these so-called civilized, speak morality confined to the matrix. What's reality? Out the presence of mind, I'm on a mission to find knowledge. There's ammunition for this vision inside. With these soliloquies, I take responsibility, knowing these decisions of mine influence what the outcome be. When I'm spitting these rhymes, it's verbal alchemy, sniper from the balcony, incisions in time. If people knew the blood that is on our hands, will we have to think of how to find a way to help all the people that would die today? Can someone help me try to understand how this is home of the slave and the freedom land? Is this how we going down in history? Will we be the change we wish to see? Yeah. We're blessed with insight, intelligence, and genius to help us realize and manifest destinies. They trying to classify your worth into the system, dissipate your power by believing you a victim in masks of illusion. True intent is scripted. All these television actors got us living like it's scripted. Fantasies we see, addicted and complacent. Winning magazines we read, program indoctrination. Don't feed in and let your energy be wasted. Turn your heart colder than the 33rd degree. We choose to be free of these systems you feed. We refuse your greed. In psychology, now it's so clear to see how we reuse the lies. We refuse your ties. In symbology, grow stronger. No longer choose to be blind. The greatest weapon we can use is the mind. For those who choose to search, you will find. The greatest weapon we can use is inside. Say what, say what, say what, say what. The greatest weapon we can use is inside. I look around and try to understand. If people knew the blood that is running hands, well, we have to think of how to find a way to help all the people that will die today. Can someone help me try to understand how this the home of the slave and the freedom man? Is this how we going down in history? Or will we be the change we wish to see? Can I do one more? How's it sound out there? You good? Did you hear the lyrics okay? Oh, thank you. I'm just happy to be here. It's a beautiful day. The sun's shining. Community. I'm living proof for the truth of my testament. Master of ceremony, blessed the skin. Speaking to you with my business like you next to kin. Movement music, exodus. Will somebody show the face what an exodus? Must have got me twisted like exodus. If you down for the cause, invested is. If you asleep, can't see what a blessing is. Nothing comes free in this world. Seems you gotta be the change you wish to see in this world. I got you with some to believe in this world. It's a blessing just to breathe in this world. So many of my people are deceived in this world. The chains, knowledge is the key in this world. Got you with some to believe in this world. I'ma spit truth till we free in this world. Rise up. People in my city, we gon' rise up. People around the world, we gon' rise up. Around the world, we gon' rise up. Rise up, rise up. Recognize it's a struggle that binds us. We knew from the ancestor guides us. People around the world, time to rise up, rise up, rise up. People in my city, rise up. People in power, when time's up. People around the world, time to rise up. Rise up, throw your signs up. If you down for the cause, if you down to rise up, then we gotta pay the cost. Make your minds up. It starts with your thoughts. If the matrix defines us, we already lost. Shadow wizards got us looking up the halls, watching television like we looking up the gods. I praise the ancestors looking up the stars, and they bow where you from. It's the road that you cross. Every opportunity that we was given comes with responsibility for how we live in every thought, every feeling. Grounds that we build their foundations for future generations of our children. So we gotta play our parts right here. Rise up, got me feeling like it starts right here. The dark night is close, but the stars right here. They can never take this world, this is ours right here. People in my city, we gon' rise up. People in town, know your time's up. People around the world, time to rise up. Rise up, rise up. People in my city, rise up. One time, say it with me. Rise up, rise up, rise up. Let's try one more time. Rise up, rise up, rise up. Yeah, y'all hear the voice. Rise up, rise up, rise up. One more, louder. Rise up. Rise up, rise up. People in my city, we gon' rise up, rise up, rise up. One time, thank you. Y'all are beautiful. Give it up for yourselves. Give it up for Sisters of the Road. Give it up for all the organizers involved. And let's bring that energy up for this march we're about to do. And keep it moving. Much love, respect, and gratitude. To all y'all, to the Creator, the ancestors, all those who came right here. You can get up and dance, that's okay. I can't dance very well, but I do it. Yeah. Hey, hey, hey. No doubt. name is Soul Miner. Much love to everybody. Thank you for listening. Peace and blessings.
Thank you. Thank you. Peace and blessings to you too. Thank you.